What's going on, guys? What's up? What's happening, guys? How can a man in their 30s successfully deal with very young women? Oh, you've asked the king here. Ask the king the most complicated question. You have the mindset of the king here, and you jump into questions about pussy, which is okay. It's a big part of life. I'm not one of those guys that jumps on here and says that getting laid is not a big part of why we do shit, because it's pretty obvious that that's the obvious part, right? We all do shit so that we can get better girls, right? We do shit so that better girls will like us. We do shit so that we can get better pussy, get better sex, ideally be able to procreate with hotter, girls who actually have some potential going on. Not girls. And again, when I laugh at these guys with third world chicks, it's different if you're with a third world chick and you're happy to be there. But if you've only gone there out of being rejected locally, then that's problematic. Like if you've gone there because you've had to go there, it's not the best sort of a strategy, I would believe. Because again, you've taken your genetics that are likely, you've been in the first world, probably quite educated, done all of these things, and then you go into the third world. And of course, some of them are educated, but most of them aren't. Most of them, it's a fantasy, this idea I'm taking a girl from the third world and I bring her into my country. Most of them don't even know how to do the basic shit in your country. Your depth of connection, if her English isn't good, is going to be extremely low. She's wearing a mask. She can't even fucking understand you 90% of what you're saying. And if she doesn't speak perfect English, and English it's quite good, your connection is going to be weak. We're communicating via Google Translate, and like we're having some connection for some reason. It's not going to work unless you know the language and the culture and all this shit too. And the culture collision is going to be monumental. It's just if she hides it from you or not. You can go to Poland to be around Polish chicks as a white guy, and there's still a culture collision. Let alone to go around the fucking third world and run around and realize that there's a fucking giant culture collision. You don't see it. Some guys don't see it because they only want a chick as some fuck doll. Like they fantasize about having a chick that's like some sex robot. So they don't care that they see no, there's no depth. They don't understand. They don't know what they don't know into such an idea. You're meant to be with who the same as that you are. If you don't qualify for the girls of your type, well, then maybe it's easier to just do the inner work and the actual self-work on yourself to qualify for what it is that you want. Instead of, I'm going to play the game on baby difficulty. Yeah, I've been running around, I've had all of these advantages, but I'm going to go back to, I'm going to regress my genetics by being around someone who doesn't really even speak English and barely even knows what the fuck's happening in life. That's not an accomplishment. Like, that's a failure. And no one, understand that when you walk around under such an idea, people laugh at you. Like, it's the truth. That's true. It's one thing to have a girl and you're helping her and you're teaching her. She speaks English and all of these things. But if you have a girl around you, you can barely even communicate with her. It looks like you're running around with a mail order bride. And people laugh at you. They just don't laugh to your face. There's such an idea, and rightfully so. It's like saying you put a stamp on yourself to say, I couldn't qualify for any girls locally, and therefore I ran around and got a mail order bride. And if you're in certain countries, like you're running around, I don't know, Thailand or anywhere, and I don't have anything against Thai people, but obviously a lot of them don't have any money. So if you arrive when you have money, you're playing the game on baby difficulty, and then you run around and you're like, I'm some playboy. You're fucking girls that will fuck for a bowl of noodles. Like, a lot of them are hungry. Your game is just feeding like girls that are poor. It's dumb. I'm over there and I'm exploiting the locals as some sexual fetish. But then I also think that I have succeeded for some reason. You've regressed. You had all of this potential and all of these advantages, and you regressed to where the game was easier. Oh, I'm just being smart. Not really. Smart would be I'm cared about where my genetics fucking go. I want to have kids with people who look like me. I'm not playing the game on baby good difficulty. I'm happy to play it on nightmare mode if I want, because that's it. Like, you're born with all of these advantages. Some people are born in the US, Australia, fucking countries that are the first world, and then they actually just regress back to the third world for some reason. I'm going where the game isn't competitive, but like, how could you not have won the game locally? You weren't playing the game properly, and now you think that you can go where the game is easier. And then guys will run around and they're like, I'm a dating coach, and they're running around places like Ukraine. The girls they're getting bombed over there. Of course, you can go over there and get unlimited girls if you would want. But again, you're only getting them because you can provide a level of finances. You're going over there to use the locals. The guys are dying in a war and you're there to capitalize. That's not game. that's not skills. That's very little hat behavior. People are dying locally and you're profiting in their city as they get wheeled into their graves. Men don't do that to other men. Like your wife is running off to go to battle and therefore now I'm sitting here and I'm going to fuck you. Guys, like you got to think of the brother beside you, a lot of that stuff. Like guys don't think very long term under such ideas. That's it. Like that's the truth of the matter. Guys think that I'm just going to go to the turd world and run around and flash money and I'm going to get chicks that have depth for some reason. A lot of guys, you would find that a lot of the girls in these Asian countries, they'll fuck the foreigners there, but they also keep a guy who's a local guy. Guys really go there and think that the girls don't like the local guys for some reason. A lot of girls, because that's an act, like they have to say that they don't like the local guys because a lot of them are poor. But they would rather be with their own people. Like some guys think like they're my age, they're like 40 years old, and they think the girls who are like 18 or 19, really, that's their fetish for some reason. People want what's similar to them. Like that's the truth of the matter. That's the truth of it. Yeah, well, a lot of women in the West, not all of them, but again, attention is like it's been pushed that attention has substance, and it doesn't. Like, because again, attention is fleeting, and a woman can stand there and post a picture of her tits and get 1 million views. Of course, you can stand there as a guy and speak and get very little views because sex, like, there's always going to be an audience sexually for women. And especially now because it's global and women can tend to misconstrain, like this guy is watching me, therefore this guy wants to date me for some reason. But a lot of guys just want to fuck you. It's different. So that's the idea. And yes, so I said it before, social media interferes with your reality creation because a lot of you are observing on social media. You're not creating anything, like you're an observer. So again, you're not actually creating shit just because you stand there and post a video or something if no one's really watching it. Or you're like, you post your life on there or something like that. Having social media is like having a resume. If you're sitting there manicuring your resume all of the time and doing a bunch of bullshit and it's eating a bunch of your time, well, then it's a pretty bad like setup for you. Versus to have one that's already quite good and then you just go about your life. It's passive. So it becomes passive. But if you're observing on social media, that's horrible. Like typically terrible for manifestation, especially if what you're observing is not something that you yourself would want. You're watching red pill content, you're watching like tits and ass and all of this stuff. And, because it teaches you also to be lust based. You can start to see women as just a sex object. A lot of people think like that. I myself can be guilty of that at times. I forget that women are also people. And you kind of like want to build the perfect woman. It can become like a fetish, an idea of I'm just trying to build like the perfect Barbie doll chick. She needs this, she needs that, she needs to think like this and that. And you forget that women just wear a mask and they can become whatever it is that you want in the short term, but it doesn't work in the long term because they loses the humanity. Like you'll find if it is that you get exactly what you want, often you'll think that that's not right. It's similar for women. Like women, the guy that they think that they want is not the one that they fuck. That's the irony. And the girl that you think that you want, if you have her, often it's not the girl that you would stay with. See, guys, if they don't have a lot of experience, they fantasize about having a trad girl that listens to her and all of that. But then if they're to get it, later on things change. Like it's a fantasy for you because you don't have it and you probably never had it. It's like saying, I want to get a Lamborghini and then you get one. And then a lot of people are like, what next? That's a problem. It's in certain stages of your own life. You have to be trad to get trad. Getting trad if you're yourself not living a traditional life or don't want marriage or don't want kids that's pretty dumb. You're going to break a trad chick that another guy could have gotten, and you're going to fuck her over. That's why I don't like this idea of guys running around with virgins or being like, oh, I don't want a relationship or any sort of real connection or anything. I just want to fuck, but I want to get chicks that are virgins to fuck them, even though they're going to be bad at sex and all of these things, because then they're going to be, more easier to push in certain directions and things like that. And she won't leave me because I'm her first body. That's incredibly selfish. The older that I get, the more that I come to realize a lot of that stuff, and it has zero legs. A lot of guys, if they're honest, they want a virgin because they can't fuck. They have a tiny cock. A lot of guys, if you would follow from the red pill, would have all of those shit wrong with them. It's a coping fucking area. Like people who are talking about this stuff, that's the truth. Like when women jump on and they're like, it's easy, guys like a chick with low age because then she's easy to manipulate. That's true. Like when they say that to me, I'm like, But doesn't mean to the bad side. See, manipulation is done. There's many ways to manipulate. Guys in the red pill only know I'm manipulating selfishly, but we're manipulating each other all of the time. Like I'm manipulating you guys, and then I'm giving what you would want to continue to view me because I sell groups and I sell courses and I sell bullshit. So it's a value exchange, yes. But then again, a girl acts in the way that you would want because you also reward her. Red pill ideas are insecurity based. I want to keep a girl in a cage because if she realizes I'm a loser, she'll leave me. These strategies, they don't work. Like they really don't work. Certainly not for the long term. And you get uglier. The reason why I'm 40 years old and I don't look like a fucking horror movie, even though I've done a fuck ton of coke, drugs, and drinking, is because I don't treat people poorly. Your red pill gurus, most of them look like fucking freaks. Fags, some of them. Some of them you would be very surprised would certainly be gay. Like there's no doubt the self-hatred is radiating it. How to build a social circle that has women in it if the best way to meet date women. Social circle is not the best way to meet women. Having a social circle is mostly like you're being cucked in real time. Your guys that you follow that have like 100 girls around them, most of them are cuckolds. I'm friends with a bunch of girls and like I don't fuck them, but a bunch of dudes actually do fuck them. That's like cucking. That's a cucking ritual. I would never do that. The guy is mogging you under such an idea. Yeah, this girl that's around me that's hot, I really secretly want to fuck her, but now someone else is going to fuck her. That's embarrassing. I know many guys that do that, and I would treat it as a cucking ritual. I don't have a girl around me if I don't want to fuck her or that I could fuck her or that essentially she has some fucking utility. I'm just keeping girls around for no reason because a lot of them are annoying. That's the truth of the matter. A lot of girls are annoying. Certainly annoying to be around for a period of time, especially if there's no sex. Like if you're not fucking a chick, the very idea that you're going to spend a lot of time around her, that's a humiliation ritual a lot of the time. Unless it's either your kid, your mum, your sister, or some girl that you have a connection with for some other reason. Like there might be something that you've gone through together or some other crap and you respect her in some way and that's okay. And understand that when guys are like respecting women is it's okay too. There are some respectable women in the world. There actually are. I mean, I've learned there are a few that I respect. Maybe there's like 5 or something, but I probably know thousands of them. So there are some though that are worthy of respect. That's the truth of the matter. And some of them you keep around because you respect them, and it's beyond sex. You don't really care if someone fucks them or whatever. You don't care. But often it's not the hottest girls. Do you take meds for anxiety and recommendations to overcome it? Meds for anxiety. It depends what it is. You don't take stimulants. If you have PTSD and you take stimulants, it's problematic. PTSD is just a form of heightened anxiety. But yeah, I mean, I would say that I have anxiety, but it's just how you channel it, what you channel it into. But also, I don't believe in a lot of these labels. Like you are as you are. Some people are sadder than others. Some people are happier than others. Some people have more energy and excitement than others. Some people are more like melancholy or some are just chill. Everyone is the way that they're kind of meant to be. So sitting there and being like, I have a blanket term. For some, it can help you to understand yourself. Others, it can give you an excuse. I'm running around telling people that I have like, anxiety or depression or BPD or some other crap. It doesn't really help you, like such an idea. You're best to just overcome it. And overcoming it is not necessarily done that, it's to be faced and essentially channeled in a good way. You have it and you're actually channeling in a way that works. Anxiety can work for you. You just do things that you identify your triggers. Triggering for anxiety could be if you're chaotic and you get a chaotic girl, it's game over for you. Like X times X, it's over. Like you're 100 times 100. That's the end for you. Like you're finished. And also you would understand that mental illness, stuff like that. And I don't consider that ultimately mental illness, but obviously it's a mental thing if it is an issue enough for you to ask. You become what you're around. So if you're an anxious person and you're also around anxious people, they're multipliers. It's the truth. Anxious people should be around calm people because calm people can also find people who have anxiety. It's a bit more exciting. They're more fucking, let's do this, let's do that, let's do something. And people who are calm can be like, get bored and be like, so often you see opposites do attract in that sort of regard, as long as you both respect each other's the side of things. And yes, I think AVAX has potential. I think AVAX runs to like $60 this cycle. You said something in your last live in relation to we all have the info we desire, yet we choose not to walk the path. Can you expand why we do this? Well, most of you, I'm not to say that, but again, you guys don't follow your conscience. Like you're born with a heads up display via a conscience. And again, but you don't do the time at night. Like again, it's nighttime, the moon energy, the feminine energy, the feeling energy is out. Communication with the lattice is more dull because it's easier to communicate with the lattice because it's quiet. Like silence is very important. You'll see when they do these quantum computing and things like that, they do them in like a helium sector. They talk about doing it on the moon because even the rotations of Earth disrupts that sort of a process. The noise, any sort of noise disrupts the process. So when you do it at night, and again, the veil is thinner between essentially the moon, that's when you find out who you are. Like that's when you're to do the inner work. You're building with your hands during the day. I'm in the gym. I'm doing all of the bullshit. You shouldn't train at night. You shouldn't be doing any of that crap. Day is when you build with your hands, and then night is essentially when you actually design your reality. Like you're the architect at night. You're the builder by day. That's the brilliance. So again, this idea of but you do have it all within you because again, I can sit here and I can tell you the paths and all this crap and all this shit, but only you know what it is that you want, and you have to discover that at night, which is to essentially do the inner work. What do I want? Why don't I have it? Let's get the pen and paper out, which is boring, but you have to write it down. What do I do during the day? I've just talked to my TCM guys and I was like, why don't you guys write down what it is that you eat during the day? Why don't you guys write down your any negative thoughts that you have during the day? I want you to write them down. Because sometimes people are so used to dealing with them that they don't realize. Like, I don't know why I have the negative thoughts that I have. I don't really think about it. I thought everyone thought that they were a piece of shit. I thought everyone just sat around all day and was stressing about an ex. They're not. Like, I don't think about any exes. I don't think about anything from the past. The past has happened. The past is finished. The past is irrelevant. Like, your past doesn't matter. Your only past only matters that you're giving it energy. It's finished. The past is done. Maybe you make a dumb decision and you get your arm amputated or something, but it's finished. Like, you're not going to sit there and it's not going to go back to stressing about the past. The past is very little lessons from the past as well, because you're a different person than you were then. Is it good to have a regular hookup to be able to focus mainly on your future and money? It still can be good. I mean, you still to get the attention of women or still fucking things. That's still necessary, but it's not good to have if you're leading people on. Like if you get a chick and you promise her these fucking relationships and marriage and all this bullshit and you just want to fuck, that's not very good. Because again, when it falls over, you've broken a person. Karma is real. Like karma is real. Do you really think your gurus who've gone through 1,000 girls but now have nothing but running around with escorts, do you think that that's not karma based? The more that you treat people like an object, the more actually you get conditioned to it, and that's all you see. And then that's all you attract. Like you attract shallow gold diggers and OnlyFans whores and all this other bullshit around you. Because you're shallow will beget shallow. There's no depth of connection because love is gone. The only girl who wants to be with a guy who has a heap of money but doesn't love her is a girl who, again, is the same. That's the same thing. I have my guy who I communicate with and often cheat on that guy with. That gives me that side. And then I also just get the resources. How can you know when you're fully healed from your traumas, and how do you practically heal except pen and paper? Pen and paper is essentially, that's the beginning. And then you have to actually take steps to, imagine this. At 300 pounds, and then I sit the pen and paper down and I actually look how much of an issue my being fat is to me, that I don't respect myself and all of this crap. And I'm running around coping and all this shit. But now essentially I'm going to monitor what I put in my body. I'm going to treat myself as a machine that I am. And essentially, am I fueling myself with fucking ethanol blend? That's not bad. Some of you fueling yourself with goy slop, or am I fueling myself with high octane fuel that essentially is going to take me much higher and deal with less brain fog, less bullshit? Because again, it's all like this is the beginning, the outside, but the outside's a representation of the inside. If you're like he's running around and you look like a slob and you're like Gary the numbers guy and I know all this crap, but I'm a whale. It's this manifestation of this begun inside. So that's the thing. It just radiates out. Ugliness begins internally. I had true dreams in a row of big snakes, and after a dream about my ex, what do you mean? Think about this. It sounds like you have unprocessed trauma around your ex. Truth of it doesn't sound very good. It sounds like it's quite betrayal. I mean, it's any sort of serpent is not great. But again, all of that stuff you have to let go of and forgive. If your ex fucked you over, if she cheated on you, if she did some bullshit, if she lied, if she's being a fuckwit now, all this shit, you have to forget about it. Best way to forget about it is to just block people. Like some people are just, I want to keep this crappy connection going for some reason. What's the point? Like, is this going, again, you're existing in the past, then you can't exist in the future and the past. The past doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you, again, like Obviously, it can affect your reality if your past is that you fucking murdered someone and now you're going to go to prison. But beyond certain shit, of course. But that causation is an effect, right? Cold approach is out. Social circle is, but I understand like cold approach is out, and that it's all intention. Like again, this is your intention. I want to build a social circle so that I can smash chicks. Your intention is I want to build something to trick people. I'm not sincere in my intentions. I want to go out and just to approach chicks. It's not a sincere thing. Like it's not based on fucking like it's not good. Versus I'm going to go to the gym and if I see a hot chick, I'll talk to her. If I see a chick in my vicinity, I'll talk to her. It's not I'm just going around and I'm trying to build a cage for people to put them in. A social circle that's just about this, and then you'll be surprised that you don't get it. See, that's the thing. Like women who run around and they're like, I want to be a gold digger, I want to be a sugar baby, all the shit. They just get used by guys who drip feed them a couple of bucks. They're not incentivized to give you what you want. If you're a sugar daddy, you're not incentivized to give your chick any longevity. Why would I give her anything why would someone be like, here, baby, here's $1 million? Because then they know as soon as she wakes up the next day, she's gone. She has options. She's not going to put up with it. Best to drip feed her $100 a day. That's the same thing. Like if I have a smackhead and I'm selling smack, I don't want to give him a kilo of smack. Why would I? Because then they can overdose on it, one, and which a lot of those sugar baby types will, because they have never had money before. They'll just destroy themselves. But that's the same idea with all of this sort of shit. Like it's intention based behind it. Like this idea of I'm building a social circle, but it's not fun. Instead of I'm building a network. You're doing it to get pussy. You're not building it to have any sort of interest or any sort of like love of the game. I'm running around the place just to meet girls. Like you're not going to find it. Again, that's the same thing. Like we can all understand it for women that a chick runs around and she's like, I just want to meet a rich guy. Do you know how many girls just get used by rich dudes or dudes who don't even have money? A guy who has money does not want a girl who is a gold digger. Let me tell you that much. They'll fuck them, but they'll have a wife. Like the Zucks and things like that, the older that I get, I realize they're the smart ones. They're fucking smart. The girl that they're with is a normal person. They're not with some fucking bimbo airhead that runs around and would just fuck them over or fuck them up in some way. They're with a normal person that's smart. Maybe they're with a girl who's not, by my measure, hot, but they're with calm, normal people. That's why they can build such amount of massive shit. They're not with a chick that sits there and she's like, I want to go to Cartier. I want to do this. Because that energy rubs off on you when it's near you. They've transcended all of that like consumerism. You won't see Zuck running around with an RM. He doesn't need it. He knows who he is. Bezos and shit. They only do that as promotion. They already know they're fucking billionaires. They don't need that sort of validation of that crap. They did it smart. And then, yeah, maybe they get the bimbo later if they want to, but they didn't build with a bimbo. It's fucking hard to do anything with a chick that's very shallow. Because they're just, most of them, when they're shallow, they're dumb, like emotionally self-unaware, and also, but they leak onto you. They're fucking needy of all of this resources and crap. They're shallow. Like, it's never enough. If you're running around buying bags for a chick, you best realize your relationship's on the fucking life support. As soon as you start buying shit for women, your relationship's very close to dead. If you get a girl and you're bringing her to buy, your relationship's very near dead, and it very likely will die. Dubai, I'm not saying it's a bad place and all of that, but it's a bad spot for women, especially foreigners, because they don't have most of them, if they're not Muslim, or they don't have the umbrella of the Muslim ideas, because that grounds them. Like Muslim women, most of them aren't massive consumers running around because they have the mosques and the Allah and all of this Prophet Muhammad stuff that they do. So it keeps them grounded. But then foreign women come here and they just want to sit in the beach club, and a lot of the guys will run up to them and gas them up constantly because there's mostly guys here. So a woman who's 5 can come here if she's thin and she thinks that she's fucking like split the atom because people chase her and there's a lot of paying for sex. So when you bring one here, it's game over. Like you best realize that. She's on very borrowed time. It's like the opposite of taking a girl to a city where they're full of hot girls. Like that's what you would want. If you have a girl, you would have her in an area where essentially she's quite common, versus to bring her in an area where she's rare. And also it's a place where people like bullshit to women a lot. Like if I'm a trillionaire and I'll just make you a billionaire if you suck my dick, and then they bail, and most don't have shit. Like there's a lot of guys LARPing, like most people that you run around are LARPing. Dubai is a beautiful spot in that it's great for business. It's very good for business and it's very good understanding of the tax and things like that. But for the foreigners, it's a lot like Bali. Like Bali is for women and Dubai can be for men. Guys come here and try and figure themselves out, and they often figure themselves out by, I'm insecure and now I need a heap of money. I've never done any inner work. What would you say is the max you should spend on a chick you're in a relationship? What's the danger zone? The danger zone is essentially anything unearned. The danger zone with women is anything financial. Unfortunately, that's the truth. Women don't understand what shit costs. Like they don't. They don't really understand. And again, a woman's ungratefulness can know no bounds. The depth of ungratefulness can go all of the way to like a complete chasm. Designer stuff is a trap for women for the most part, specifically if they didn't earn it. Because it's just she can attach a part of herself to the external. That's problematic. She can start flexing online and then it makes you look like a fucking sim. That's a problem. Doesn't look good for you. Like this, I bought my chick Cartier and all of that. That doesn't look good for you. Unless, but again, if you're Bezos or a billionaire or something like that, maybe you can understand it. But it spends so much money. But understand if you're buying your chick Louis Vuitton and then you think you're going to flick it down to like, I don't know, whatever the cheap shit is, I don't even know. Then good luck for you. Like very good luck to that. You can't go backwards. Like if you start spending, I don't know, maybe you spend $500 on your girl at Christmas, and then you spend $5,000 on your girl for Christmas. You can't go back to like $500 from that moment onwards. It's normal. It's normalized. Women get normalized to shit quickly. Like when they're running around beach clubs and guys are fucking telling them that they'll buy them shit and proposing to them. In their head, that's the new normal. And women in Dubai and things like that, like some of them can age longer. They're old and no one wants them in their home country, but they can come here and they're still like somewhat of a novelty. It's the truth. The business is amazing though. Dubai is great for that. And it's good for everything's easy to understand. And it's good for taxes, good for business. It's safe. It's very good. It's got very, very, very good things for that. That's the big pluses of the place, which is good. But guys like foreigners, I'm only talking about foreign non-Muslim people because I know they're Muslims is different, and I'm not Muslim. But the foreigners that come here, they can get a bad understanding of women because the women that they meet, not the locals, but the women that they'll meet when they go out anywhere, are going to be a lot of them mostly gold diggers. A lot of them are escorts, like just a lot, or sugar babies of some sort. A lot of women think that they just land in Dubai and get a free Louis Vuitton at the airport. That's it. Like that's what a lot of, again, women are coming here for that sort of an idea, and that's all that you get. Shallow gets shallow. I'm here. I see you as a cash machine. I see you as a vagina. That's it. And then guys here will run around, and you'll be very surprised to see how hard they get towards women. They start not to like them. They start not to like women. Like you'll see the guys, the influencers and that running around and being like, women are this, women are that. Because again, that's what they've gravitated towards though. Like you've become a magnet for that. You're shallow, you get shallow. You're playing women and you don't realize they're also playing you. They're just playing you for resources. It's the truth. Opinions on jobs like a welder, fabricator in the shipbuilding navy industry good for future prospects? Yeah, I mean, any sort of trade is actually good for future prospects in that it'll be difficult to replace. Like welding is not easy to do. And it's very to be in demand into the future, of course. And this like robotics idea and everyone's going to run around and it's just going to be all robots doing all of that, like electricians and shit. That'll be a very long time away. The robots that they have now suck. Like it will take a long time to be able to make them good. This, but also AI, though, the thinking will scale much faster. Like an AI, a tool that can think or a machine is a lot easier to scale than it is to make things in the physical. Because hands and things, like it's very hard to replicate a hand. Have you seen how they do it now? They're pretty shit. Let alone to do it in a whole machine that can walk around, it can do this, it can do everything. That'll be a very long time away. Maybe 10 years or something, 15 years to being done very well. That'll be a long way away. Like robots in the house will still be years away. And that'll only be certain people who can afford them. Like this Neo robot that's like $20,000. Who the fuck has $20,000 to get a robot that's like can't do a lot? Not a lot of people have that. No one, well, most people won't actually use it. It's just a novelty, and when they get it, they'll realize how shit they are. But then again, like, I mean, you can just hire like a maid or something for much cheaper, like $20,000. What's that, like a year's maid wages or something? Certainly in the lesser developed countries. So, I mean, who wouldn't just do that? But a maid and things like that, like any job that you don't want to do, ideally, that's the best part of money. The best part of money is I don't like to do this, so I can hire someone to do it, and I can do more of the shit that I actually like and actually makes me money. Do you think investing in a system going a little bit homestead is a good solution? I mean, it can be, but it depends what you're doing it for. If you're only doing it to essentially, hide from reality, then it's problematic. Like this idea of I'm just going to, move out of the city and I'm going to, hide in a cave or something like that. That's not going to help. You have to, and then if you have kids, you have to teach them how to exist in this world. That's why you don't want to go too red pill and telling your kids, like, if you have red pill ideas, you don't want to tell your mom, your dad, all of them because it can scare them. Like ideas of like the lattice and things like that as well. Like I think it even is even talked about in the Bible. There's certain magic shit that you don't aren't to mention to normies and things like that. It disrupts them. Those who like this, like well, that's what I mean. Like guys will preach on the street and run up and be like confrontationally reading shit from the Bible. That does no fucking good for any cause. I'm standing on the street and I'm screaming about Jesus to people. That doesn't help at all. Especially if you're doing it in a judgmental frame, like that doesn't help people at all. Like, who the fuck are you to talk about that shit? Like, you're not Jesus himself. You're not anyone to stand there and judge people on the street and call them sinners and bullshit. Not like that. Just play that game, but obtain the resources from the land. Yeah, I mean that's a good thing to get into because a lot of that stuff is the food and things that we're eating is going to become more and more artificial over time, more synthetic. That's the problem. Like a lot of the shit that we eat is synthetic foods because they're easy to replicate and the margins are big. It's not just that they want to poison you, like of course they do, but it's that the margins on their food that they give you that's artificial is easy to scale and it's massive. And essentially they can control them via chemicals and a bunch of other shit. Understand that you'll live in a time not that far away, maybe 20 years or something like that, where a lot of the cattle and things will be dead. Like a lot of that stuff will be artificial. They're doing that in small pockets now, but that's going to become like if you're a farmer, 10 years, you're finished. Like most farming will be gone. Yes, there'll still be some novelty areas where it's higher end and things like that. And the steak margin, like the steak costs will be really expensive. The like middle and lower ground will be gone. And you'll be able to still be like, oh, I want to buy a steak or, I want to buy this Angus beef or all of this other crap, but it'll be really expensive. And most people won't be able to afford it. And most people will be on a UBI subsidy. So the UBI, they won't be able to, they'll be subsidized to eat certain foods, like kind of like food coupons or whatever the fuck it is in the US, but it'll be like a UBI program. And essentially they can push you into certain foods. You get a discount, but you have to eat all of this shit. Steak, how expensive are we talking? I would believe that a good steak will be multiples what it is now. And there'll be no like cheap option. And that's like, maybe 10 to 12 years away, or probably less, actually, I would believe. Multiples more expensive than it is now, like for an actual proper steak. And then you'll also have just a lot of goy slop. That will be more of a thing. That'll be more of a problematic thing also. Because the UBI will be how they control it. Like you get food coupons, but you can only eat within this specific board of food. Beyond Meat, no, I don't think Beyond Meat can make it in that sort of regard because people don't like it. But there'll be some new product. But also, in some way, though, I can understand why it needs to exist because it's like very inhumane. Like I don't like this cheap meat where essentially they get. I don't know. I don't like pigs much, but still, I don't like the idea of that they're just in. I exist in a slaughterhouse until I get slaughtered. Like there's something needs to change in that regard. I'm a chicken and I exist, but I get pumped full of hormones and my legs are broken and I exist in a cage for my whole life and then they kill me at some point. Like that's what planet is that good? It's not to be made also because again, you're just eating a bunch of like trauma and you're eating a bunch of hormones. Like you think that's not going to affect you. If you were eating chickens and shit and they suffered their whole life and you think that doesn't pass through to you, you're delusional. Like that passes through to you the same shit. You are what you eat is fucking really real. That's why a lot of the elites you would find probably drink blood of kids and shit like that. You are what you consume. You best realize that. Your body can't tell the difference between when I would believe when you're eating flesh, even. Your body can't tell the difference between what it is that you're eating and actually yourself. It starts to replicate through. I would believe a lot of that shit is extremely true. It's not just this adrenochrome and shit like that. That was in a movie, but I would believe that because I know that it's true. If you're with youthful people, so you're with your friends are like early 20s or 25, you're with a chick who's like 20, you're with another chick who's like 20, your body kind of radiates to whatever it is that you're around. And it has a hard time, like the clock of your body, it exists in a more competitive state. It doesn't think that it's as old as it is, versus the opposite. If you're in a hospital or something like that, then you're with old people that are slowed down and all this crap, you would find that you would age much faster. That's why people, when they retire, I would believe it's also part of why they die quickly, because they were with likely at work and doing things also around youth. And then they retired and they probably had their wife or their friends that were like their age. And then they're like, boom, it's part of it. And then I would believe also it's the same reason why you kind of are what you eat. So if you're eating a lot of, like I believe, like I ate a pig, some pork, but the animal suffered its whole life and watched all its fucking people around it getting killed, and the whole place stinks like death, and it existed in that its whole life. Versus I'm eating a cow, but it was free ranged, and then someone put a bolt in its head one day. It still had not an amazing life, but who's to determine what their life is? But it still didn't suffer for the whole time. Versus this animal existed in a state of adrenaline and suffering its whole life, and now I'm just going to eat it. You think there's no consequences to that? There are. I would believe that it's also likely that it'll push a lot of anxiety and bullshit into you, especially when you eat it all of the time. And a lot of that shit, when we get chicken, when we get all that crap, we're eating the lowest common denominator. Like we're eating the lowest, like this, oh, I'm eating this crap. If you're not the one that buys it and all this crap, you don't know exactly what you're getting. So you eat in the restaurant, and then you're eating a lot of it's probably still slop meat, where they made the animal suffer a lot. How do we stay proactive instead of just waiting for UBI travel limits? Tired of the same teat message talk. Anything else we can really do? It's a good question. But again, you have to do the inner work. I don't know that it sounds dumb. Inner work and essentially figure out who you are and what it is that you want. Because after 2030, it's going to be harder to do the inner work. There'll be more surveillance on YouTube, that anything you want. You won't be watching me. I'll be cancelled. So you have to do the inner work of figuring out who you are and what you want. And you might not want what Tate wants. You might not want what fucking, I don't know, any of the others, whatever the fuck others talking about. You might not want that they want. You better do the inner work to see who it is that you want. Some of you are following a guy, and if you were to live their life, you wouldn't even be happy. I just want to be a big consumer, and like I'm insecure, but if I had a Lambo, for some reason I wouldn't be. Everyone would see that I made it. Like you're, again, completely external. My reason for making it is so that other people see that I made it. That's so stupid. Someone somewhere is upset that I made it, and that's my reason for doing shit. An ex realizes that I'm not a loser and that she was right. You know, she lost when she left me. Like a lot of those guys that you follow, that's their motivation. I'm going to prove that I'm not a loser to an ex for some reason who left me and hurt me. That's stupid. That's completely external. Not, I want to raise my own kids and have a family and actually build a fucking, like, I want to be something positive for my world. The man is made by the fruit that he essentially has grows under him. I want to contribute to society, not just be a parasite. I'm not a rug puller of the world. My existence is not to get higher on the shit pile just so that I myself can shit on others below me. Most of the guys that you follow, you realize over a long enough time frame, they convince you that they're different, and then when they get power, they shit on you. That's the truth. Like that's human nature. A lot of guys really think that if you weren't the president, you wouldn't be corrupt. Like if you were the Trump, you wouldn't do anything that could be seen as a way that would be, difficult. You wouldn't favor your own people at all. Everyone's going to do that. Like that's what people would do. Everyone will. If I'm the police commissioner and I get pulled over, I don't want a ticket. Like that's normal, and that's how it begins. Fake food would remove connection from most of the people. Yes, it's true. Fake food is bad, but also eating traumatized meat and shit like that is bad as well. So something has to give. That's true. I know I would consider, if I said that years ago, that I would be a hippie, but it's true. If I'm eating Burger King and crap like that, I know I'm eating the slop of slop. It's going to cause issues like more anxiety, more problems, more. I believe it disconnects people from their humanity. Eating a bunch of like guys I know eat raw meat and shit like that, and whatever for them, but it disconnects them from their humanity. Like it's pretty obvious. I'm just existing as a caveman. It's what it is that you would want. It's up to you. What is Stephen? What do you think? What a grown man in my class is constantly laughing, making shitty jokes and clowning around. Dude just bursts out laughing obnoxiously always. I mean, what it is that you can do about it? Is it a big enough problem that you just tell him to shut up? It's up to you if you're ready to fight over it, or do you want to pull him aside and be like, dude, you really just need to stop gesturing. Like we see you that you exist. We understand that you exist. It's okay. You don't have to put on the show all of the time. People see you. You're very loud, and but a lot of that stuff again is just some people though it's who they are. And again, some people like to gesture. Some people need validation from the outside. Some people also just have a big personality. It's up to you if you want to suppress it. But again, if you're willing to smack the guy over it, it's up to you. Some people could be. It's classroom. They can be obnoxious, but it's up to you. But someone probably needs to tell him at some point that he's being very disruptive. But whether it's you or not is to be determined. Can be. You're impinging on your rights in reality if they're consistently disrupting your class. But it's up to you if you want to take it that far. Now in 10 years, I would be at such a scale because it would be expensive and such. It's like they're going to take the connection to the yes. I would believe that's true. Real food would just scale up. Like, I want to be healthy. I want to eat real food. Therefore, I'm the market for real food. But now the price is higher, where versus the slop, which is to be reassessed as, we've created foods and things for you that, that you can afford. But it's, predominantly full of chemicals and bullshit and other crap. Then that's the thing. Like everything exists that you can eat is nature is okay. But I don't believe in this idea again of creating like kill farms for animals and like chucking them in like these cages and shit like that, and they exist just to be used as sustenance or something. I don't like that idea. For me, I don't like this zoo idea. Like you're at a zoo and you go there and there's certain animals that are caged so much they can barely even move. I don't think that's right. I think just because an animal exists doesn't mean that you are allowed to see it. You're a person. Like these animals don't exist for you to run around and be like, oh, look, I saw a giraffe. Therefore, that means that it has to exist in a little fucking tiny pen for its whole life just so I can see it. You don't own it. Like this idea of God coming in or Jesus and then running around flipping tables and being like, because you don't own this shit. Like you can't have animals and make them suffer just to entertain you. Like that's not what they exist for. This like dancing bears and shit that they get bears and make them do a bunch of bullshit. That's not right. Like again, you own something to suppress it, but it's a living thing. That's why I also like guys ask me about OnlyFans and things like that, and that's their business. If someone does manages models or whatever on there, that's their business. That's their shit to do. But it's different if you're managing them as a business and that I'm the middleman and they trust me and I help them and do shit. Versus I keep a girl in the fucking basement and she dances for fucking webcam. That's different again. Like one is again you're providing a service, and another is I'm suppressing a person. I have a person that essentially like she's forced to do it. Or I can beat the shit out of her. Or I put her in a country where she has no rights. And that's why like these lover boy things, like you really think that shit isn't real? Like guys can bring girls to countries that are essentially far away from where they're usually from, take their passport and then make them go on webcam. You think that doesn't happen? That happens a lot. You'd be very surprised to see that happens a fuck ton. And that's a fucking illegal business. Like you can't do that. You can't have a webcam agency in a place like, I don't know, Iraq or Lebanon and then be like, baby, come and stay with me and I'll look after you. And then chuck her passport in the safe and then just chuck her on webcam. You think there's no problem with that? Taking 18, 19-year-old girls and doing that shit, you think that's fine. That's the thing, though. Like, people generally think that if they can abuse people, it's okay. They're dumb, I'm smart, therefore I can take shit from them. I have power, they don't, therefore they should suffer. Everyone exists as an extension of myself. I'm controlling a person, but I don't also realize that they're controlling me. I'm getting upside, but also downside. Those ideas. How do you create a dysfunctional reality and how do you handle negative self-talk? I mean, how do you create a dysfunctional reality? It sounds like you've already got one by a negative self-talk. It's the chicken and the egg scenario. The self talk creates the very reality that you yourself are living. Your self talk, though, can be telling you the truth. Like if you're a fat ass, it's not negative self talk. You're just in a negative position. If you're a loser and it tells you you're a loser, that's okay. But you have to first accept that you are, in fact, a loser. See, I had this mechanism where I met my shadow. I said I'd met it before in the garage when I was like 15 years old. And it told me that I was a loser. And in fact, I was. But one second, I just got to order a taxi. But you mean you can never lie to shadow self or whatever comes through from your subconscious. You have to assess it. You can't like again this idea of the negative talks come up and it's truthful, therefore it's not correct. It's truthful, therefore it needs to be acknowledged and it's truthful. But then it can be you work towards creating in a positive lens. But there's no positive lens. I'm fat and I'm broke and I'm this and I'm that. Don't think that if the truth is bad, then it's bad. You can get around it. That's the truth of it. But you can't, yeah, again, you can't lie to yourself because you can lie to the front end, like your conscious, but you can't lie to your subconscious. It sees everything. It's a silent observer. You're observed all of the time. You will never get anything that you don't deserve. You certainly won't be able to keep it. It's the truth of the matter. Your subconscious, and again, if you're being observed, your subconscious, God, whatever it is that you would want, would it think that you're serious about what it is that you ask for? Like I want a good, yeah. But some guys like their life is shit and they're fat and they don't look after themselves and they fantasize about having a chick. But some people are like, I'm watching Netflix and I'm bored. I wish I had a chick. A girl doesn't exist to provide you entertainment. As such, a friend doesn't. I'm bored and I'm this and I'm that. Therefore, I hope that I could meet a brother and we could also just be bored together. I had a lot of hours at work reduced. What do I do to fill in the time that's not just self-destructive apart from your content? Content is like, let's be frank. My content is only good if you implement. Like sitting on here inventing is nothing. Like I hope you guys know that just because you're asking questions doesn't mean shit. Because most of you, again, you're asking questions that you yourself deep down know the answer to, but I myself give you the permission to essentially see. But you have to see the value in yourself. Like I can give you all of the fucking techniques and shit in the world, but if you don't think that you deserve it, then you're not going to be able to do it. Like there's always going to be a black fucking. You're going to walk into a brick wall, because the brick wall is here for a lot of you. Break BTC 200K next year. Yes, I would believe that. But yeah, it's not just making money is one part of it, but essentially for a lot of you, it's the self work, inner work first. Like for some of you, again, if I have negative self talk, I have this, I have that. We should write down your negative self talk during the day. Keep a fucking diary. I tell guys in my group, TCM. So essentially, keep a diary during the day what you eat. Keep a diary during the day what you spend. Keep a diary during the day any negative thoughts that come up, and then reassess them at night. And what do you know what you're fucking even doing? Like during the day, even thinking, what are you spending? Like spending money is spending your energy. You have so much energy. Essentially, you spent energy to get this fiat. And now what are you doing with it? It's finite. Like, it's not guaranteed that you'll always be able to earn what you can earn today. Just taking a fucking inventory and seeing what's happening. Like what's going on with my life? Where'd my attention go? I just messaged 50 chicks. I'm following fucking 500 girls that don't even follow me back. Like, what am I doing with my life? Why do I follow so many people that don't follow me back? Like, why am I even taking an input that rejected me in some way? It's not for me. I'm not an observer of my own life anymore. I want to be the one in the fucking control of it. Where's my attention going? Like, is it going in a return that's giving me a return, or is it going to a point that's going to take something from my future? Because again, every day you're mailing yourself dividend checks to the future that you're going to be like, oh, future Steven, thank you very much for this check that you mailed me. You did some fucking inner work versus you just mailed me a big bill because you sat and smoked weed all day or fucked around, or, you're sitting there with a porn habit or some other crap, and you're delaying, essentially looking inside. A lot of these habits and distractions and things, it's a distraction. Like guys with a porn habit, it's a distraction. God, most guys don't even want to nut when they watch porn. They just want that like dopamine quick thrill. I need a quick thrill. I want a distraction. Something's come up, some thought that I don't want to think about or feel, so I'm going to go jerk off. And then they've just tied sex to it. So you understand the best idea and the best technique and the best guy with women, the best psychological king as I am. You can tie sex to many things with women. Sex, when you're with a chick, that's when your programmer go during sex, because everything you say, the conscious is off. It goes directly to the subconscious during sex, specifically if they're close to coming. It's the truth. Like a lot of the time when you're fucking a girl, you're talking to her subconscious directly. This is fucking programming. That's the best time. Of course, none of you gurus would know that, but I know that because I mean, I'm the best when it comes to psychology. I'm the king. So I know that's in itself the best time. Because sex also, it's not real. You know, when you talk during sex or you call your girl a slut or whatever, you don't really mean it. She's not necessarily a slut, but that's a big part of it. And she's not the same. Like if you have a girl that's really like, I don't know, she's prudish on the outside or she's careful, you wouldn't run up to her and be like, baby, you're a slut. But when you're fucking her, you can, and it's still hot, and she can still come from it because her conscious is off. It's not often that it doesn't exist, but it's off a lot. She's not really she's feeling, she's in the moment, she's relaxed, she's open to you. The subconscious is receptive. The front end is off. That's why she doesn't react the same. If you have a chick and you choke or even you slap her, of course consensually, not like if it's not consensual, I mean, you're not a caveman. But yeah, all of those ideas because the conscious is off. She's in the moment. She trusts you. It's enjoyable. It's exciting. Subconscious is in control. Her pain tolerance is much higher. She's not conscious that you just slapped her. It's fun. It's in the moment. That's it. I teach a lot of this stuff in TCM. As the king of kings in this sort of a genre. But that's the thing. Like anything when the conscious is off, any programming that you do at night with any woman or anyone is super powerful. It's the most powerful. That's why if you're to be programmed or anything like that by any agencies or anything, they often will make you tired because your conscious gets tired, and then the back end is actually starting to take some charge. Like you can communicate with it more directly. That's why with women, any sort of like a lot of you and things like that, anything done before bed, before she goes to sleep, is super powerful. I teach this in TCM, so it's obviously the highest level stuff. But also, I don't want to teach guys if they only use shit and think that guys think that they learn little fucking gay tricks and shit, and that was just some new like tool in the cupboard to suppress a person. And it's not. All of these techniques, even like the Machiavellianism, whatever the fuck words, is they're all tools that essentially you can do to get the best out of a person as well. It's all the intention behind it. I'm not learning things to suppress people. I'm not in the gym to get stronger just so I can beat up weaklings. Most guys do that. Most guys take fake fights. I'm in the boxing gym to show you how strong I am. Then I take a fake fight. It's bullshit based. Like if you're the strongest, go fight the strongest people, and then I'll look in and be like, wow, yeah, you are who you say you are. It's all bullshit. I'm getting strong so that I can suppress a 40-kilo woman. I could have already done that when I was a kid. I didn't need to get strong to do that. I'm learning all of this logic and bullshit so that I can logic bomb a chick. But they're not logical. It's dumb. Like all this shit is dumb. All this shit is stupid. Like most of these masculinity guys are chronically insecure. You ask the masculinity guys if femininity exists within one person. Like a man is both masculine but also has feminine qualities, and they'll be like, that's not true. And then you'll realize that they have a very deep insecurity within themselves. You are both. Feminine side is artistic, creative expression, communication. Like you speak, you can communicate openly, like you can feel, you're empathetic. You can feel a room when you walk in. How do you think I know so much, and specifically things from the future? It's because I have empathy, a deep, deep empathy. I can know what the fuck is going on from the future. It helps with channeling energy, and also helps with, of course, if you have to master it though, because you can channel very dark energy as well. So you have to be able to pull from both. But that's how I can have such open dialogue with the lattice. The lattice doesn't communicate in logic. As such, a logical computer here and a quantum computer can't communicate with the lattice just by doing 100 binary commands. That's the difference. That's why these computer systems and things, they want to build a physical lattice, essentially, which will be built here, because then their binary commands and shit works. Because communication with the lattice, the God made one, is only done via emotion. AI can't communicate with emotion. So that's pointless. That's why they have to build one that essentially they can sit and manifest by fucking typing a zillion commands in, which they will do. That's the truth of it. I'm wondering, how do you keep consistent when channeling energy? You worry about being consistent too much. Like again, you're worried about the outcome. You're scared of yourself. You're scared to let go. Letting go is the highest thing. Like understand that when you communicate with people and essentially you've been closed up for such a long time, when your logic and masculinity and all of this coping crap that most people do is when they're damaged, is that you're going to go out front. You're going to have to take a step that's going to make you feel like this is dumb. Some of you like the idea, I'm in a club, but then to get up on the dance floor, you would be like, they're all fags up there. But then you would realize that that's coping from you. You're afraid of looking dumb. Like you're afraid to get up there and you think for some reason now that people will look in and be like, this guy's a pussy or he's like, he's dumb or he's gesturing or he's doing shit. But then deep down, some people desperately are like, I wish I could do that. The guy who can like, there's difference between you're doing it to get attention and you're doing it because you have a security within yourself that you can do shit. If a chick wants you to get up and do karaoke, you can do that if you want to do it. If you don't, you don't. But are you honest about yourself? Because some people want to do it, but they're scared what others would think of them. Most your influencers that you follow won't do that because they're insecure. Most people, they're scared to say anything. Like guys take TRT and they're like scared to even tell people that they take TRT because they want you to think that they're the Terminator for some reason. I'm on juice, but I have to like tell people that it's all natural so that they think that that I'm like Hercules for some reason. It's dumb. All that stuff is dumb. They're tricks. Like I'm tricking the world for some reason. And again, you're rejecting yourself. You are as you are. Why do you have to present an image that's not correct? Like, are you not enough? So then when they look in the mirror consistently, they feel like they're not enough, which can essentially make them become massive. But it's still rejecting themselves. And when they have kids and things like that, their kid will grow up in deception. My dad lied to me all of the time about a bunch of shit and dumb shit. I didn't know the truth. Now I don't know the truth within myself. When you lie to your kids, that's very bad. They need to see that you're not Terminator, like because your son will go through the same shit you went through, and then he'll think he's alone. Why am I alone? Because dad was perfect, and like, why am I now facing shit? But he didn't realize that you faced it, but you just hid it from your family. You pretended that you were fucking perfect, and now when your son faces it, he doesn't know he's not going to be able to handle it. You didn't close the cycle. You have kids, and you tell your kids that dad had a problem with drugs. So then they're like, maybe I should avoid it. Or if they fall into it, they're like, dad had that side too, but he managed to do it. So therefore I can actually manage to do it. Versus dad never did drugs. And then you don't understand shit. Like, why was dad missing part of the time? Why was he pissed off? Why was he all of this shit? It must have been my fault. Because kids are very good at blaming themselves for shit. They don't understand. So essentially, it's honesty is actually extremely important. Why are you not with your mum? And then a lot of guys will be like, mum was a whore and like avoid her. And that's your kid's mother. You have a daughter and you tell her that her mother is a whore. Like, are you going to really destroy your own family? Like, that's her mom. That's you were telling the kid that she's a whore. If you're to tell her that her mother is garbage, it's a part of her. That's stupid. Those ideas are dumb. It's stupid. It's up there with telling your kid that Santa Claus isn't real when your kid's like fucking 2 years old. Let people enjoy, like, they're going to find shit out in the right time, but also don't hide parts of who you are because they need to know you exactly as they are because they're very likely to have the same issues that you had. My parents gambled, so I gambled. That's the truth of it. But they were very honest and open about the fact that they gambled. So I saw it enough times to know that I myself could conquer it. So I never got lost in it. Although I did have issues where it was hard for me for periods of time. I was lost gambling and had addiction gambling, and I've left the casino 100 or 200 times dead broke. But I saw that they themselves had struggled with it and gotten over it. So I myself got over it. I don't know how to change that shit. I would see about doing it next time. Oh, wait. I don't think that I can do it. It says that there's no moderation. No, it doesn't. No, yeah, moderation basic, but I can't change it now. But yeah, I don't know. Just ask questions around the fucking moderation. But or just DM me, you can. But yeah, so now moderation activity's off. Now it's on. Okay, no, moderation activity will be shown. Okay. Yeah, ask your question again. Yeah, thanks for your time. Yeah, that's fine. Of course. Do you think real success comes from teamwork or going solo? It depends what it is that you're doing. And what success is to be determined by you. Because understand, like, you guys, for a lot of you haven't even written down what success means to you. Like, have you ever actually done that? Like, if you actually sat down and wrote success to me is X, success to me is Y. A lot of you haven't done that. So your subconscious, again, the observer, doesn't even know what you want. Like real data is I write down what I want and my subconscious has a vision. I can formulate what I want. I don't just watch little bits of bullshit, guys yelling at me to buy supercars and crap. Because for you, a supercar is very likely an extension of something that you want to earn within yourself. I want to get it myself. I don't want to win one. I don't want to win the lottery. I want to make millions of dollars if I want that. I want a family, but then also, though, you're giving a dialogue because some people don't like to write down what it is that they want because then they realize that what it is that they're doing is not, that's not right. Some guys fantasize about having a family and a wife and kids and all this crap, and then they're watching like YouTubers run around with escorts and fucking OnlyFans whores and a bunch of bullshit. You're confusing your fucking subconscious. Like you again try, but then you're trying to have your cake and eat it too. This, I want to have a wife, but in the meantime, I want to get 100 bodies. That's fucking dumb. Like it's so stupid. These ideas are so dumb. Like this, it. Some things that you do are wide that you don't. Will never have what it is that you want. There are some roads you cross where it's going to be extremely difficult to come back from. If you fucked as many girls, like I've fucked too many in that regard, it's very hard to have any sort of normal relationship after that. It's different. Like it's difficult. Hedonism, the treadmill is a rubber band stretches. That's hedonism. Stretched, and now it's always stretched. It doesn't close off as much as it used to. It's easier to go back. So that's it. So that's the issue. Yeah, so those are but it's the paradox, but it's also again like trying to stuck in two sort of masks, and essentially again, it's like that wolf saying, right? There's two wolves inside you. One is fucking, one is a demon, one is a fucking saint. And which one are you going to feed? And this idea of guys try to feed both, and I'm trying to be a hypocrite, and I'm a lot of guys that get me. I'm in the church trying to meet chicks, and they're fucking we're in the club the night before. I'm, but their intention is only there. They don't care about God, but they're there to try and snag a chick who's traditional that they didn't qualify for and bullshit it. I'm there, it's just your intention behind so many things. You got to realize, but again, like you've got to realize a lot of the shit that you would want, you have to be serious about. And if you want a trad chick, you better realize that you're going to have to sacrifice these childish ideas that you have that I want to be a fuck boy and I want to also have a chick at home and all. That doesn't work. Like that shit won't work. I would know. I've had two girlfriends at a time where the point where they could both be in the same room. There's no, if you want to have two girlfriends, that's not done on deception. Most guys, if they're honest about themselves, they can only get girls by lying to them. For influencers that you follow, they can only get girls because they bullshit to them. They sell them a dream. Selling a girl the dream just to get laid is stupid. Again, because you have to wear a mask, it pushes you out of alignment. Should avoid friends or women who do not have an internal monologue. That's a good thing. But you can also create the internal monologue within themselves. But again, friends, of course. But women, it depends what age you're going as well. If you're getting a girl and she's younger, then you're going to have to do a lot of that shit for them. Like a lot of guys, if you're getting a girl 18 to 23, 24, I'm not saying that it's illegal. Obviously, it's legal in your country. But you're going to have to do a lot of that building for her. A lot of that's being programmed by TikToks and bullshit. You're going to have to be the one that starts to kind of push that sort of an internal dialogue, asking them good questions. Communication's massive. But that's the thing that you're going to have to do. It's not there by again. Your issue with women for most of you is lack of communication. But it's different with friends and things like that. I mean, but then you're older. Once you hit a certain age, like a girl at 30, if she doesn't have an internal dialogue, it's over. Like there are certain you're a certain amount of set. That's it. Do you think and women in themselves again? There is a good case to be done for guys who to find women that are younger and they essentially develop together versus I'm finding a girl. And it's not to be over. It's not necessarily over if you find a girl who's like 30s or whatever. Of course, some are different. There are outliers and things like that. But some, it's going to be a bad deal for you. It's just the case of it. Like you got to be selfish, and that it doesn't mean that you're hurting people, but you got to be selfish to think this is my own life. I'm going to get the best deal that I can for the best potential. But this idea of like guys running around and you need a girl who's 17, 18, 19, that's not necessarily true. And you got to be fun. Like if you think you're 40 with an 18-year-old and you're not fun, you're cooked. Like again, you're just going to be the beta male provider. You're going to have nothing to talk about. Like, you're going to have a dialogue and understanding of what it is that they like. They're going to have an idea of pop culture and all the shit that you yourself probably won't like, but you have to move into that field. Do you think there's a difference between manifesting the things that cost money, like a house, or manifesting the amount of money? It's not manifesting the stuff. It's manifesting the way that you yourself become the one that essentially gets the shit. It's the chicken. Like, you're never going to manifest and wake up and there's a pile of cash sitting on your floor. That's just not going to happen. But you can find a way to bring it into your life magnetically. And that's true. Like, a lot of the stuff that you don't talk to yourself about, like every day, all day, I tell myself how lucky that I am. You probably don't do that. I do that. And my outcomes are very lucky in life. That's an example. Would it be considered rare if a woman stays by and supports a man from with a low income background progressing to a high? Yeah, of course. But also, I wouldn't consider it that rare. I wouldn't let yourself think that women don't like a guy who doesn't have his shit together yet. They do, but you have to be the guy who's essentially serious about it. And you have to get the right girl. This, like, guys, every chick wants to be with a millionaire, and that's all bullshit. Of course, if you run up to a girl and ask her on the street, you're like, would you rather be with a guy on 20 grand or 100 grand? They're the same guy. Of course, she's going to say, I'd rather be with the guy that's on 100 grand. Like, who wouldn't do that? But women go against what they want all the time. Women don't know what gets them wet. If you're the guy that gets them wet or you're the guy that provides money, they would rather fuck the guy that gets them wet. And if you fuck them, they listen to you. If you don't fuck them, they don't listen to you. Do you know how many guys I know run tables and host all this shit, and the girl takes glasses off the table, takes them to a guy who's, for the most part, a loser, and then fucks the loser at the end of the night? Because he makes her wet. He makes her feel something. Feeling is the highest thing. And money repulses women to a certain point. If you start talking about money with a girl, it's over. It repulses them. Most of them know that financially they're losers. So they don't really like this money talk. It makes them dry. You get a lot of passive aggressive energy back that it makes them resent you, talking about what you have. They don't like it. And also, they know that it's little dick energy. Like, again, you're talking about a bunch of stuff that you yourself have, trying to gain some advantage. It doesn't impress them. That shit might impress them, who you had to become the guy that got the shit. But they know that also, for some people, getting money is easy. And there's some girls are around money all the time, so it doesn't impress them. Why is chemistry and overall feeling with the older women better than with younger? Because I would believe that it's chemistry is better because you're being yourself. You don't feel like there's any pressure. Whereas when there's a younger girl, you're trying to be the one that gets her. You're cool and calm with an older woman because you don't feel like there's any. I'm just myself. I don't have to put on any sort of acting or bullshit. This is more me. This is who I want to communicate with. And don't let anyone tell you that you're a loser if you want to be with an older chick, because you're not. It's your life. Like, no one can tell you that you need to be with an 18-year-old girl and you'd be happy with a 30-year-old chick. It's your fucking life. Don't let these red-pill dweebs, who also are mostly with old women, convince you that there's only one solution, because there's not. There's many. You are who you are. If I got a girl and gave it to you, you might not like that. Whereas if the same thing is the opposite, I might not like that. But I don't have to fucking be with her. You do. So you better like it. If you have a better connection with women that are older, it's not for one to say that they're dumb. It's how they treat you, what it is that you want. Are you happy with what it is that's around? Some people also, if you have an old soul that you've had a bunch of experience, and then you're like, I want to be with a chick who's 18, that might be a problem for you. She's not going to understand you. Like, it's very unlikely that she hasn't been through the same shit that you've been. She doesn't understand you from that perspective. Some people, they're 30, they don't want to act like they're 20. So they don't, like, it's going to be harder for them to be fun all the time. Some guys are like 35 and they're like, I just more want to chill at night. I don't want to go out or do a bunch of shit. That are girls who are like 18, 19, most of them will. So it's fine. Like, again, don't think that I have to be this certain direction, because you don't. And also understand rules can be broken. If you're a master, you can break the rules often. Jesus Christ breaks the rules. I mean, it's done in the Bible multiple times. He forgives fucking Dismas or whatever the fuck his name is, and takes him up to heaven after being a thief. Like, again, you can break the rules if you yourself are a master. That's the truth. Breaking the rules is not necessarily breaking the laws. But if you have an idea where you're like, I want a girl 18 to 25, and you're like a girl who's 28, it's not for anyone to say that you're a loser, because you're not. If you're a guy who, again, I'm in fucking go for a trip to the third world and I really like a chick or whatever, it's not for me to say you're a loser. I mean, it's if you think in the mirror that you're not, it doesn't matter what I say. and your intentions behind it are different. If you're like, if you failed in your society and your excuse is to run off to the third world to try and jag a wife, then I mean that's different to what I'm in a trip and I met someone. Its intention is behind it. Intention is massive. Like that's a thing. I talk about it all the time. If you're driving a car and you change a song and you run someone over, it's very different to if you're driving through a crowd of people. That's different. Ever did a lucid dream? I mean, lucid dreams is not necessarily dangerous. Do you mean astral projection? I did astral projection once, and I felt like my heart almost stopped. I would come back and I wasn't breathing. I had turned into like light. I wouldn't say I almost died, but I don't think that I was breathing for a period. So you have to be careful with all of that shit. I'd become like a beam of light. It was quite interesting. Hey, SRB question. What advice would you give to someone who's nearly 30 and lost purpose in life, have a good job and currently going through the motions, not sure where to go from there? You need to do the inner dialogue at night and see where it all went wrong and why it is that you're drifting away from who you are. You need to find the lighthouse, which is essentially you need to become that. You're drifting out at sea. And the further that you get in the dark, the more that you think you only notice that I'm so far away now. I'm far away. And then you start to write down or do the work at night. And you're like, I've drifted away from exactly everything that I ever wanted. And it doesn't mean that you just can just come back in one moment, but you can actually start to take a dialogue and be like, all right, now I need to change course a little bit. I need to put more time into this or that or this. But if you don't do it, that's why people wake up at 40 or 50 and they're like, I want to jump off a rope because I didn't do any of this. And now life is completely what I didn't want. And now I'm running out of time. What are your thoughts on life path, numerology, enemy year, friendly? I believe parts of it, but I don't believe. I think life path can be accurate. What are they? Gregorian numbers and shit can be accurate, but I don't believe in. I think years are also what it is that you make them. It's the truth of it. Are they accelerants? Does it matter when you're born? I believe it matters when you're born and that astrology is real. I mean, if you smash together at the time with the stars and things, I think that all of that stuff does matter, right? But how much it matters and, you can move against it, I would believe that's probably true. I think it's just you have a pull in certain directions and also a push in others. And if you to push in the direction that's made for you, you're probably going to get further. What do I think ETH and BTC are heading towards? I believe that ETH is probably testing all-time highs again before the end of the year. And BTC is probably all-time highs or just above. Testing or just above. Whether we hit 90K or 95 before then will be to be determined. Flip a coin. Yeah, Genghis Khan on a laptop. That's the truth. Like a lot of these guys, again, it's just talk. Like they're just yelling. I'm a military general, but I haven't even been in the military. Napoleon would do this, but you live on a laptop. Like you're not a fucking general. Like you've never even been in the defense force. Like you don't know shit about it. You've just read a book. You're commenting and being like Napoleon is one of the greatest of all time. Like whether it doesn't matter what it is that he did, it doesn't matter if his is divine. Like his story is divine. Like you think that you could replicate it, but you couldn't. And then you realize also that there are certain things that you won't die until you're meant to. Of course, if you kill yourself or something like that, you can spit in the face of the creator. And essentially, I believe that you might get one chance. I've known a lot of people, and I myself have had a suicide attempt that I survived. And I've known a lot of people that have survived one suicide attempt. And I know a lot of people, everyone that I know that never survived a second suicide attempt. And I know a girl recently that didn't survive a second suicide attempt. So all that stuff is, I believe you can get one chance. Not necessarily, but you can. And then also you can't spit in the face of the creator twice. I think that's the truth. Everyone can make a mistake. I would believe that's possible. But then to do it twice is different. Is it also that younger women want a man that has everything so you can't be yourself if you're still building everything? I don't necessarily think that. I don't think that younger women want everything, but women who are older might have a more grounded perspective on life because it's very likely that they themselves have had to work and do things. Whereas if they're younger, they might not have a full understanding of what it takes to do shit. When they're older, they're like, I've done some things of myself, and I sort of starting to realize that it's not that easy to do shit. So when guys say that women have desperation when they're older, I don't think that's necessarily completely true. I think they might have more of an appreciation as well. Because, again, you don't know what the workforce is like at 18 or 19, but you might have a pretty good idea at 25, 28. You don't know what the propaganda is like at 18 or 19 because everyone's gassing you up as a chick, telling you how fucking great you are. But you might have a pretty good understanding at 25 or 28 when you've run through the mixer. So that's the hard thing of life is that if you want a girl who doesn't have a lot of experience and, essentially zero, you have to also be willing to experience, satisfy that full spectrum that she herself will want. It means you have to be able to fuck. You have to be able to be interesting. You have to be able to be exciting. You have to be fun. Fun is the biggest. Like if you want a girl 18 to 24, fun is 99% of it. Unfortunately, fun doesn't necessarily mean running around the club, but it means that you need to be able to spike the emotions. You need to be the dopamine dealer. Like you need to replace TikTok and all of that other shit. If you've had a chick that building your future isn't fun, yes, that's the truth of the matter. And I myself have sat in when I was in prison, then I sat in parole. On like 5 years, I fucked 2 or 3 girls in 5 years, or 6 years, or more. So this idea of you need to be a pimp and build, that's all bullshit. Again, that's obvious. When I fucked 2 or 3 girls in like 5 or 6 years, I became a multi-millionaire in that period. Because I wasn't distracted by women, I would be a fucking almost billionaire if I didn't fuck as many girls as I've been with, or more. Women detract, especially because again, you're putting energy into something that's going to fade away. I want to fuck a bunch of girls. Okay, well, you're putting a bunch of energy into different girls. It's going nowhere. Like all that stuff's going to zero. It's like saying I'm going to invest in 1,000 cryptos, but I'm not going to hold the investment. When it bounces out, I'm gone. So your time is the investment. Your energy is the investment. Your attention. I'm putting my attention into a bunch of things that are going to disappear. That's it. When you say connected to the lattice, I just feel the reality itself moves towards me. Everything's brighter, everything's more beautiful. Like kind of like people would say when they say that they take mushrooms. I took mushrooms once and it was a light dose. I think that stuff is mostly crap, but it's the same connection. That's the connection to the lattice. When they sit there and they talk about all this crap, that's what they're talking about. They talk it in a deeper lens because they also trip and that they start to see the reality, I believe, the fabrics, and they can see shit like, they can start to talk about the matrix analogies and shapes and all of this crap. Geographical shapes and all that shit like that is part of the communication system, I believe, of how we can come to understand it. What did they say? What's the maths? Fibonacci numbers and all of that sequencing and shit, all these like patterns and shit. That's how the structure of the world is built. I would believe the reality that we're in. But that's the feeling. And I saw the thing that Don't Die guy did the mushrooms, and essentially he lobbed, right? And he did half as much as he said that he would. But a lot of that shit, like, I don't know why you would expect that a guy like that's going to have really a lot of breakthroughs. Like he's an unusual person. I want to live as long as possible. I don't get it. And that's why in most cases, whoever goes from younger women has to play a game of them instead of being themselves, isn't it? Only when you have the things you can be yourself because you have more fun. Yes, that's true. But it's a misalignment. Like you're older, and by definition, it's a misalignment. Like this idea of I'm 40 and I'm with an 18-year-old. Do you think that's normal? I'm not saying 40 with 40, but 40 with like 25 or 26 or something. Do you think it's normal to be 40 with an 18-year-old? Do you know how many 18-year-olds that I know? A lot. But do you think that it's normal to be dating one and marry one? Is it normal in maybe certain cultures? Possibly, but the culture enforces the rules. The women are very unhappy in a lot of those places. Like, again, it's enforced. Force. Women, when they have freedom, that's not what they want. Of course not. I mean, that's the truth. How do I know he lobbed? I know he lobbed because I know he lobbed. I could see it. I'm not stupid. I just know shit. I don't need to fucking sit there and have someone tell me shit. I know it wasn't true. I mean, I know, and I also know from the effects. His effects didn't match the dose. He's not Superman. 5 grams is fucking ridiculous, man. I just knew it when I saw it that it was bullshit. I just could see it. And then essentially when they were changing he's not going to film the trip and all this other crap and all this shit, I just knew it was bullshit. But then people sit there and they're like, this is medicine. It's all bullshit too. This stuff's dumb. Like, it's not bad to, someone has a trip if they have an intention and do things, but it's not like medicine. Most people that do that still are losers. I fucking did a boga. A girl died at the ceremony when I was there. Another girl died after that. So I think I know a lot about that crap, like from the specific separate side. And I mean, that's a nature of life, that sort of shit. But again, it's intention based behind it. But again, I can see when people are bullshitting. Like, I know that they're laughing. Like, it's obvious. 5 grams is, and when he said 5 grams, I was like, is he going to make it on that dose? It's more than a heroic dose. I think when I tried it, I didn't even take 2 grams. But again, I wasn't tripping nuts. But I also don't believe that you're meant to take like these doses to cook yourself. Like, oh, I take 10 grams because I'm tough for some reason and I turn into a marshmallow. That's all stupid. Like, what are you taking back? What's your intention behind doing it? Are you doing it just to trip out? Are you doing it to escape? Are you doing it to play God for some reason? A lot of people do that. They have all this wisdom and then they come back and they're fucking losers. How are you wise if you're a loser? Like, what's taught you you're a loser? Like, what's all of this process done for you? Like, what have you been able to present? Most people, if they to come back, they can't even express what it is that they saw. And they think that it's this divine wisdom and things because they're feeling emotions that they themselves have been hiding from for an extended period of time. That's why they feel so divine. What do you think about guys that push ayahuasca? I think that shit is like very demonic. Pushing shit like that to people is bad. It's different to have a feeling, like how I felt when I wanted to do a burger. I'd wanted to do it 10 years before I myself had done it. But before Rogan, before all those people were talking about it. But it's a calling. Like doing mushrooms and shit is a calling. Like the mushroom itself, and I know it will sound weird, is actually calling out to certain people to do them. But you're not meant to push it on others. Drugs are like that the same. There are certain things and things that people are meant to take, and they're doing it to essentially discover something within themselves. Like guys think drugs are all bad, and then they don't realize guys like Musk and things like that walk around on ketamine pumps and take a lot of shit because they communicating with the other side. But and you know, Altman being like, I take sleepers, this essentially, I believe, shuts off your subconscious. He takes them in low doses and then walks around because entities and things can communicate with them under such an idea. That's the truth. But yeah, all of that stuff is to be discovered by the person. You're not to give, like, you should never promote ayahuasca. You should never promote a boga. You shouldn't be promoting mushrooms because some people will take it and kill themselves on it. Some people will take it and die. Some people will take it and cook themselves. Some people will take it, get nothing out of it. Some people will have a path that they're a family man and they'll smash heap of mushrooms and fuck their whole family up and their whole life because they essentially can be like, I don't want this anymore. It can reset them in that regard. You shouldn't do any of that shit to find yourself. You should only do that when you have an anchor, not only that, to God as well. I did the Iboga with the chick. So we went to Costa Rica. I took 3 girls with me, and we went to Costa Rica. One of the Polish girls, she came with me to Costa Rica. We did Awaken Your Soul, and I took the Iboga. So I was the first to take it. I took like, I don't know, 5 or 6 scoops or something, spoonfuls. I took a dose that was like this completely unhuman. And then she took a dose as well. The other girls took a dose. And then I felt like I was on this roller coaster as I was starting to get like, I feel like I'm coming up. Kind of like if you've ever done MDMA and you feel that coming up feeling, like you start to feel like butterflies, but you also start to feel like a heavy anxiety, like something's going to go really wrong here. Like I'm coming up. I felt like I was on a roller coaster and it's like climbing, click, 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 click. But it was that for like an hour or an hour and a half. And I was talking to the shaman, fucking white idiot. And then I was talking to him about, that I felt like if I was good to lose control, something was going to go wrong. And then I was going to lose control. And then I had one more dose. And as soon as I had that dose, I felt like just something broke. Not just broke, but like my last bit, it was like I was holding onto a rope and it was holding together. And that one dose like snapped the rope. And I just completely had lost control. Of course, you can't, but you can't move, you can't do shit. You just sit back. It's like DMT, but on steroids. I think Iboga is the strongest shit that you could ever take. It's very few people have taken it. It's very dangerous. I don't recommend it for people. And then I vomited, dozens of times on it. I saw a lot of shit that was very, very, I guess, interesting. As soon as it kicked in, so it kicked in the first time and started to feel it laid back, put the blindfold thing on, because essentially we were sitting there in a big circle. And then I felt like I saw like a wolf in front of me on one part, alien head right in front of me. And then I saw this like shadowed figure on the right that was like a hooded figure. And I actually think that it was death. And then it kept flashing to essentially make a decision to choose between the 3 of them. And I chose the alien that kept pressing closer and closer to my face, just a giant alien head. And then as soon as I chose it, I felt the mattress just be dragged. Like I felt like I was being dragged on like an all alien autopsy. And then essentially I felt like I got dragged out of the setting that we're in. And then this like Game Boy thing played in my head. And it was like a Game Boy. And just these dots started. And it's like, ask me any question that you want. And then obviously I started communicating and talking with it. And it showed me all of these things from the world. Like it showed me how reality itself was formed. It showed me what happens. It told me that everything that exists is for you, but you just don't pay attention to it. You don't know how to make reality move towards you. That you're not a god. Like you're essentially to be nothing compared to us. But we're essentially like we're watching out for you. I asked why it's why it does this. Like, what's the point of all of this shit? Like, this is not entertaining for that. I mean, this must be boring. Like, you're watching a bunch of people do this shit. And it said that for most, they consider this like it's a form of a humiliation ritual. That's why there's so much vomiting. It sits down and it watches and it laughs. And it said that we just shine laser beams on the wall, and these people run around and drag at it, and they think that there's so much wisdom and there's so much understanding, but we're just shining a torch on the wall and they're chasing it. This is nothing. Like, this is nothing, because if we're to tell you these things, they said, it also said that the glass exists, but we can only put as much in as already has existed. If it doesn't exist and that the person doesn't know themselves, we can't add anymore. We can't give people these sort of ideas. And essentially, it also showed it that it will show people things that destroy them and kill them. And essentially, people kill themselves after taking it. It will show them parts of themselves that they themselves have hid from. And then, so I had this, and then it also showed me that the universe leaves as soon as you're gone. So it showed me that you're to die. And then essentially, it showed like the rug pull, like the curtain gets pulled. And then essentially, there's a black hole that waits and it swallows everything up. And once you're to actually go, everything exits with you. So you don't really leave anyone behind, as you yourself would figure it. And then it showed me a bunch of other shit, and it showed me what paths, if I'm to stay on certain paths, where my future would go. Certain paths of degeneracy paths and like really fucked up shit that it would show me. That if you were to stay on this specific path, having parties in Poland and running parties, we're running parties for 110 or 120 girls and 10 guys. If you're to continue to do that, this is where your life will lead. And it showed me that. And then after that, I scrapped all of the parties. I didn't do them anymore. I ran all of that shit out. It showed me that, but then I also realized that Jesus Christ, in my view, was real, because I could feel the respect that they had for his name. It was the one that they essentially looked to and held the most weight. I could see that there was also dark shit around, but it also showed me that the dark stuff that exists, it has to as well. It's not personal. It's not like the dark shit exists, as it's just the opposite. Like, there's no light without dark, and there's no, like, even death itself is not personal. Like, it's not sitting there. It's just a process that essentially has to happen, which eased a lot of my mind of, these demonic things and things like that. We take them as that they're so sinister, but temptation has to exist. If you're to do well, then bad has to be something that's promoted to you. It showed me how in the algorithm and things like that, it promotes a form of the temptation. You see the guy who's doing a rug pulls and scamming people and doing bullshit, and you're meant to see that, because you're meant to be offered a path that you yourself can go from that pulls you away from who you are. But it's the congruency funnel. Like, again, the testing gets louder the further that we go, the years and years that happen. You're essentially shown a way to do things that are against your code, like you're immoral and all of this crap. You're tempted. You have an idea to work on your business on a Friday night. You're like, I'm going to lock in here. And then you get the message from a chick who you haven't heard from in a while, who's like, come and fuck me. You're locked in. And then the friend messages you at 12 at midnight. And he's like, this club's going off, man. Like, are you going to come in? And then you fail a test when you do that. Are you serious? All that shit is meant to happen. The basilisk presents a bunch of tests for you. The gatekeeper that essentially is to decide if you're to get to the next stage or not. Are you serious? Like, I have to present a bunch of tests to you. That's my job. I have to figure you out and then tempt you. I have to see serious. Like, that's all that matters to me. You say that you want to go this way, but you're still moving the other way. You want the trad fun. You want the trad results, but you also want to do things that are damaging trad people. What did you think about someone who doesn't do any sort of drugs, even the crazy easiest ones, caffeine? I mean, like, it's up to you, but it's up to you. I mean, if you don't want to do caffeine or whatever the fuck it is, that's fine. It doesn't mean that you're good or bad. That shit. It's just what it is that works for you. Some people can hang out and take, drink caffeine and do smoke and fucking bullshit and be fine, and others can't. It's okay. But also with drugs, most of them, I mean, if you can avoid them, you'd be smart too. I'm not someone who stands on there and tells you that you should do fucking drugs, because you shouldn't. Like, if you can avoid it, you don't want to. There's no benefits beyond you get to see yourself from a different lens. And sometimes some people, they have to do drugs, unfortunately. It's just the nature of it. Some people's best discoveries exist in the things that would kill others. That's the truth. That's the thing that's the thing. But again, understand that certain things that you go to get, like, you can go to hell and come back with certain fucking things, like pages of documents and information and shit that can better your life in many ways. But you can also burn in there. It's the truth of it. That's it. Like, you can come in and get better understandings of yourself by moving down funnels of degeneracy and then getting yourself out. But eventually you're going to get stuck there. You can go down Dante's Inferno and go a few steps down and then come back. You can. People do it all the time. But also you can slide all the way to the bottom. But isn't the point of drugs to be able to live without them after? Not necessarily. I mean, drugs itself is, again, you're doing the hedonism rubber band. You get used to opiates, you get used to benzos, life's going to be much harder for you. You get used to Subutex, all that shit, life's going to be much harder for you often. I know guys that used to take heroin or coke or things like that, and they think about it every day. Even though they stopped taking it, they're like, I've peaked, because they took heroin, and they're like, everything from then on doesn't feel the same. Yeah, I guess in that sort of a lens is possible. But again, it's like you go to the casino when you go there 20 times. You go there the first time, it's fun. It's this, it's that. I play a bit of blackjack. I lose some money. I don't care, whatever. But then you're like, I'm going to force myself to go there 50 times. And now you're like, why do I have a habit? It's hard for me to stop. Drugs is like that. I'm going to take a line of coke and it's okay. I didn't really like it that much. But then someone forces you to take it 50 times. Well, then now it's very likely that you're going to develop a pretty decent habit. That's it. Like, it's just, again, what you're exposed to. Someone who doesn't watch porn and then they start jerking off to porn 50 days in a row, they're going to have a pretty big porn addiction as well. It's just, again, some people also can get away from it, some can't. But also, I don't believe that it necessarily means that the person is weak, because I know a lot of people that have high functioning drug addictions, or they have high functioning porn addictions, or they're highly functioning, but they're like addicted to lust. They're bad with, like, they're fucking sex demons, but they're still highly functioning. You would know some of the influences that are like that. So it's to be determined. I mean, some people can just who they are, right? But we all have something. Some people, again, can have food and have a bit of a belly and go to the gym and still wreck everyone in the boxing gym. Some guy can eat Hungry Jacks every day and then wreck someone in the boxing gym. Others eat fucking healthy as fucking their shit. It's just, it's who you are. It depends person to person. Wherever you go, there you are. Yes, it's the truth, right? We take ourselves wherever we go. It's the truth. You better come to be comfortable with yourself, right? You better come to like the guy in the mirror, and it doesn't mean that you fucking don't realize that you've made mistakes. But if you don't love yourself, like, no one will ever love you. That's what happens with these influencers. They only know how to punish themselves. They don't love themselves, and they don't, again, see the love. Others can't love them. That's why a lot of that megalomania shit starts. I run a cult because I need all of this worship and all of this crap and all of these people to tell me that I'm great, because there's a big hole within myself. Will never be enough. A lot of the cult idea can start out, we it's a good idea and we're trying to help each other and do shit, but mostly reverts to worshiping the leader because the leader's insecure. It's not enough. I just think maybe if someone take a certain drug after, they should learn it's not for them, or they take it because they need it, fix their shit, heal to live without needing it. Yeah, I guess. I mean, it depends, but you need to understand the reasons for why it is that you take it. And certain things and addictions are genetic to a point where your parents were addicted to drugs, and if they didn't face it and then essentially you start, it's more likely that you will start because their process already existed. Like, the brain already had the reward circuitry set up a certain way because you inherited it. And now once you actually add that element, it's more likely that you're going to become addicted faster and deeper. That's the truth of it. That's why if you have addictions even to porn and things like that, you best to process it, because when you have kids, they're still the same circuitry. So they might not be addicted to porn, but they might be addicted to something else. Their brain is going to be wired initially similar to yours. They could have a fucking addiction to Fortnite bucks or like Roblox or some other crap, but still preps them up to the same. And then when they're older, they can move into something more serious. Addictions and things like that, you have to process, because there's going to be more addictive shit into the future. Like, it's going to be more refined. Addiction, again, it's to be done. Anything done in the dark is bad. You have to bring it into the light. That's the truth of it. Addiction only exists in darkness. That's why if you're ever to do coke and you're a bonghead or whatever it is, and you do it socially, it's one thing. But the first line that you do alone, you got a big fucking problem there. The first bong that you rip on your own, there's no one around, you're just chilling, smoking, you got a big fucking problem now, because you've eliminated that social barrier. Now you can do it all day if you want. Now it's the next level. Drinking is another. I drink socially when I'm with the lads, and then you have a bad day, and now you get the bottle out and start smashing it. Now you got a big fucking problem, because you've eliminated the social element. Now you can drink all day if you want. It's just you v you now, like you're in a deep hole. It's just you on your own, and it's only you that can get yourself out from that point. That's the truth of the matter. Everything's fun when you're doing lines with the lads, and I did a pill at the club, or I did a pill at the festival, or whatever. But then when you're doing it at home and there's no one around, and you're doing it at home at 4 or 5 a.m., it's not fun anymore. And you look at yourself and you're like, why can't I stop? Like, this hasn't been fun for fucking a very long time. And now it's you versus you. One of you is going to die. Either the guy doing the plate of coke is going to die, or the one that's the one that thinks that he can do more. But it's only you against you. Like, no one can get you out at that point. Bong is another. You're smoking weed alone's another. Shisha is even a fucking another. Like, if you have the shisha at home and you're just hanging off it, that's another. It's another addiction. Like, shisha is fucking bad. You better know that. Especially this crap that they sell, like this shit stuff. Sitting there having shisha all day is not good for your fucking lungs. You're gonna cook yourself. A lot of that shit's bad for inflammation. My nose is fucked from doing blow. Like, look at it. Fucking cooked. Don't know if I'd probably think about getting surgery. But that's life. Like, that's the thing that you do, and you got to accept that there will be consequences. Nothing is free. Specifically, there's no free dopamine. Any free dopamine or any free hedonism up front will generally cost you a lot in the back end. And the irony is that the more that you chase pleasure, the actually more that it eludes you. Pleasure is not found in what you think it's found in. Pleasure is found in the process. It's found in moments that essentially you're like, I did this and I didn't think that I would enjoy this, but I did. I organized the best night at the club and all of these chicks and all this shit. I realized that I didn't like that. But I liked this moment that wasn't even planned to be fun. I thought it would be lame. It's because pleasure is different than you would expect. Like, it's not found in exactly what you think. It's found in the process. It's found in the climb. As cringe as it sounds, it's the truth of the matter. Yeah, well, again, when you're alone, I mean, it's just you v God, right? It's player versus player. And you get temptations to distract. It's what you're going to lean into, but also to realize that you're not condemned. Just because you're sitting there, even if you're doing drugs, if you're jerking off, whatever it is that you're doing, if you're eating a bunch of junk food or a bunch of bullshit, it doesn't mean that you're condemned, like that you can't recover, because you can. Like, people come back from shit all of the time. I had a suicide attempt. I was thinking about it like 12 or 13 years ago, and now I'm a multi-millionaire. I thought I would be a loser. So that's the truth of it. I've broken the cycle at least partly, in that my kid goes to private school. I was only in school for 9 years. Although I do have shit that I need to work on and a bunch of other stuff. But that's it. You fix one thing and something else is wrong. But that's life. Like, that's it. You realize that when you have kids that it's not that easy for your parents. Because no one gives you a manual. You're trying to fix yourself while you're trying to grow another person. It's not that easy. That's the truth. Like, it's not that easy. Do I regret doing a boga? It's a good question. I actually don't. Although people did die since then. I had a girl of mine, a friend of mine, died on the trip. And I had a girl die after then, the other girl that I invited. So I invited two girls. One died on the trip, and I had to send her body home. And then another one, and I had to call her mum. That was the hardest call that I've ever made. I had to call her mum from the desert to tell her that her kid was dead. So that was not a very fun call. But what can you do about it, right? And then also another girl that I invited died a month ago. They both died at like 22 or 23. So, I mean, but be careful of doors that you open. Like, again, if you're talking to the spirit world, you best know that you can become a spirit. It's the truth. Like, you can find a way to exit your body. If you, like, this astral projection and then you get hit by a car the same day, like, if you're communicating with the other side, you're more likely to die. That's true. Can't exist in both. So if you're like, I want to exist in the spiritual and the physical, you best realize that you can't exist in both. That noise of the bottle, you can't exist in both. When you started to become more successful, did you ever face tall poppy syndrome behavior? How did you manage it? Stay focused. Yeah, tall poppy syndrome exists. But again, you just have to exist it by excelling above it. But you also need to just look in the mirror and be like, I'm here for me. I'm me versus me. I'm not trying to prove shit to others because I don't care. They're not there when I'm in the gutter. Like, if you were to live under a bridge, most of you people that you're trying to impress wouldn't even fucking give you $5. They don't care. They're not going to be there in the hard times. You need to find the best validation will come from looking in the mirror and being like, this guy is with me to the end. I best fucking do what I can for this guy. It doesn't mean that you do your best and that you're trying to fuck other people over, but you best start to put yourself first. Because if you shit, everyone's shit. Like, you can't look after anyone. If you burn yourself into the ground, you can't look after your family. You're fucked. You're going to, again, the same idea. I'm doing a pack march and I'm just going to march until my feet are so blistered that I can't walk. And then the next day you're like, I can't move anymore. You've destroyed yourself. Like, now you're combat ineffective. You can't help anyone. You pushed yourself into the ground. You marched. Again, the army idea is, I'm on a pack march, but my knee's fucked, but I want to show everyone how strong I am. I didn't tell anyone my knee's injured. Now halfway through the walk, we got 10 kilometers left and I can't walk anymore. Now 2 guys need to carry me or carry my shit or sit with me. You've taken multiple people out because you yourself couldn't just own up and be like, I'm injured. I know it doesn't look good and it doesn't feel good, and it feels good to be Hercules and the Terminator and I'm doing this. Sparring is another. I'm stunned. I've been dazed, but I'm just going to keep going until I get KO'd for some reason. You're injured. Take a knee. It's fucking sparring. It's not a fucking feat of strength to get brain damage. And it's also another. You're not meant to knock your partner out if you're sparring with them. Like, why you got some ego game? You're just trying to beat everyone up in the gym. It's one thing when you know you landed a good shot, give them a few seconds to recover. Like, why are you trying to like injure a person? They're trying to train with you. Like, if you beat everyone up, you're not going to have anyone to train with. Do I believe in fate? I believe fate. There's also many fates. I believe fate will find you on the road that you seek to avoid it. So you're best to find it prepared.